Hi, my name is Richard Lyle. I am a plein air artist. This is a term used for an artist that paints in the great outdoors. I have a French easel that I set up on location, which can be seen in this photo. Today's video subject will be the hot spring in Yellowstone. In this video, I will finish a painting which already has all the large shapes blocked in. At some other time, I will, in another video, show you the painting process I used to get to this stage of a painting. I am completing the painting in my studio so I can learn the process to make a time-lapse video. Please bear with me, and I am learning and will have problems with lighting, shadows, and sound. I will be making corrections throughout the video, so I hope the quality improves over time. So sit back and enjoy the video. What I mean by this is, first, I see the whole composition. Then, I start looking at the smaller areas of the subject, and I still just tried to paint the big shapes of that smaller area. After I am done painting the large shapes in that small area, I move to another area. I keep repeating this process with the areas overlapping. The areas that I see get smaller as time goes on. At first you saw me cool down the small mountain in the background. Now I'm warming up the foreground by using more yellow, making it greener. Blue cools things down, makes them look more like in the distance, and colors move it forward. Things also get lighter in the distance. As you can see, the mountain in the background is a little lighter than the mountain I'm working on now. Notice how I still block things in. And as you can see, I do not stay in one area for very long. I keep moving around the painting. If I stay in one place, my eyes get too used to the area. Now I add more yellow to make it greener as the trees move forward on that mountain. Trees are not all the same color. They vary a lot. Different species of trees are different colors, and the distance the tree is changes the color. The distance that the tree is from you. Everything you look at, you're looking through curtains of atmosphere, and that atmosphere has changes, making it lighter and cooler. Now I'm working on the area where the forest meets the meadow. And I work on the grass, putting the dark shadows in and also making it a little bit warmer as it moves forward. There's also bushes and small shrubs in that grass. It's not like a golf course. So don't paint it like a golf course. I find that if you always mix small amounts of paint, and you'll have always variations in the colors, and the painting will look a lot nicer. Mother Nature is very random. Us humans like to try to organize it, but it's always very random. Here I'm working on the shadows of the steam that's coming off the hot spring. These springs are boiling hot and steam just keeps pouring up into the atmosphere. I try to diffuse the colors as the steam meets the background colors and try to keep the lines very smooth and not harsh. Sometimes the finger works better than a brush. Gotta use the tools you have. Now where the steam meets the foreground, which is like a gravel, the gravel is wet and it has much darker colors to it. And I add a little white to spots and make it lighter and try to get that nice fluffy look that the steam has. Almost looks like cotton. I never use pure white. I always add a little bit of color to it. Sometimes I warm it up a little with a little yellow, and sometimes I cool it off with a little violet or blue. I use the same process in painting clouds when I have a skyscape. Now I put a little variations in that gravel between the water and the steam. I believe that's the Yellowstone River that flows in front of this hot spring. Again, I'm painting in that dark spot again because it's the darkest, right where the two meet, where the steam meets the gravel. Now, just in front of that point, there may be some very light spots because the gravel's wet and it reflects some of the sky. So it's not just a straight line. Now I'll do a little bit more work to these branches of the trees. Now branches, gravity pulls them down as they grow, so they kind of sag down at first, but then they try to reach for the light and the end of the branches will always point up. Most trees, the branches are parallel to each other. In other words, they grow in groups. As the tree grows, there'll be maybe 2, 3, 4 branches at each level going up the tree. It's not always true with all trees. Some trees do have branches that do not grow opposite of each other's. But I would say probably at least 90% of all the trees, softwood and hardwood, the tree branches always come out in pairs or more. And try not to paint your trees like a Christmas tree, because in nature branches get broken off by animals like squirrels, and the buds get chewed off by squirrels, or a bird will land on a branch and it will break, or heavy winds will break off a branch. So the branches will skip around, and some branches grow faster than others. So try to make it look natural. Make it a little uneven. Don't make it like a Christmas tree. Christmas trees, someone works the whole field of trees and make sure that the branches always are the same and they keep trimming them. That's how they get Christmas trees. Otherwise the branches would be uneven. Now work a little of the trees, the little saplings growing up close to me. Again, try to make them look natural. You need to look at what you're painting. Now as you paint, your painting matures. At first, when you first start painting the painting, you look at the subject and you spend most of your time looking at the subject while you do your painting. As you progress with the painting, you look at the subject less and less, and you look at the painting more and more. After a while, you're concentrated on just making a good painting and not exactly how every branch is and every puff of steam and everything in the painting or the subject, because that's always changing. As the light changes, the subject completely changes in looks, which brings me to the other thing. When you're painting outside, you should either work for like 4 hours in the morning on a painting or four hours in the afternoon, because the light changes and you'll have things that happen and you wind up putting them in your painting, and then your painting doesn't look natural. Your shadows start flipping around in your painting and all. So if you don't get a painting done in the morning, you can always come back next day and finish it up, or you can always take a photo of it and finish it in the studio like I am with this one. I didn't get to do very many paintings when I was in Yellowstone. We were there for quite a while. We were there for July 4th weekend. Actually, July 4th week, actually we're there for 2 weeks. But I didn't get to do many paintings because the weather wasn't what I was expecting. I had shorts and a t-shirt, and the one day it was snowing. It's hard to paint when your hand's shaking. I find that if I finish a painting like this in the studio, I don't work from a photograph. What I do is I use a digital image in the camera. I project it on a TV. I find that draws my memory in between the picture on the TV and my memory. I can pretty well finish a painting. Work from a photograph, you start copying things too much. You put more detail than you can see. A camera can see more detail than your eye can. When it's on a TV, I'm sitting 20 feet away from the TV or 10 feet from the TV. I can't see any more detail than what I could when I was there. One other thing I would like to mention is the whole painting is worked all together, and over time it will get more and more detail. The trick is knowing when to walk away. As you work on the painting, it will get more detail. Detail alone does not make a great painting. You should walk away when the painting is at the best it can be. Otherwise, you will overwork the painting. Every artist has experienced this and wrecked a good painting by overworking it. Here I'm working the water a little, putting reflections in the water. Again, using my finger gives it a nice look as a reflection. Don't try to make it exactly the way it is all the time. I like to look for happy accents. I try to do what I see, but sometimes I get really nice effects by accident on the painting, and I like to leave them. As you get more and more experience painting, you'll have more happy accents happening. The other thing you have to watch out for is when you're doing something and you do a certain brush stroke and it looks really good, you gotta make sure you don't go happy dappy and start putting that same brush stroke all over the whole painting and clutter up the painting. Yeah, that's why I keep moving around and don't stay in one place. Well, I think it's time to sign it.